Right, did WWE ban wrestling on Raw this week? We'll talk about it. Plus, a WrestleMania backup plan has been revealed, and we have an update on the Night 1 main event of WrestleMania. It's all in the wrestling news right now. This feels like a throwback to the times before.
The times before?
The list that we had of words that we couldn't say.
Ah, the list of words.
The famous list of words. Don't say hospital, say medical facility.
That one makes sense, though. That one made sense, didn't it? In terms of if you said hospital, people might be ringing up hospitals in the area being like, hello, is this certain person here?
Okay, explain getting rid of belt and strap for championship. Is that in case they ring a belt?
Well, you never know, they might. No, that one makes no sense.
No.
That one makes sense.
Of course, we're being silly about some words that were banned from WWE some time ago. An interesting throwback to that from the Wrestling Observer this week. Dave Meltzer writes, if you haven't seen the fingerprints of Vince McMahon on camera, there are little things here and there. There was a pre-taped interview on the 20th of March Raw where somebody used the term wrestling and they had to redo. He goes on to add that granted, since Reigns and Rhodes have used the term pro wrestlers in their promo on the same show, there's obviously there's obviously one rule for some, one rule for others. If this is the case,
there seems to be leeway for certain people more so than others, as you were saying there. That's interesting, though. I thought maybe perhaps because Cody was openly saying wrestling on TV again, I thought it's fair game, isn't it? I guess at the end of the day, what are they doing? Wrestling.
There is that. Now, to play devil's avocado on this a little bit. So obviously, if we know that they've relaxed a lot of the stringent rules on wordage since the Triple H era began, but I guess they're still keen to not use the word wrestling so often. Yeah. Especially with Vince McMahon and his new mustache backstage. They may be still not overusing that. So it's one of those things where a phrase or a word has more power when it's only used a handful of times. Yeah, for sure. And I guess within sort of the lineage of the Rhodes family as well, it does make sense at the end of the day. It harkens back when Daniel Bryan started doing the yes thing. You go to quite a lot of indie shows and everybody was doing, every babyface with nothing else to do was doing that. And it waters it all down. Yeah. So maybe it's that. It seems like a strange. It seems only in the world of sports entertainment you'd have a story like this come out. Definitely. And one we'll keep an eye on. We're on our way to Censored Word Mania next weekend, and some details have emerged of a backup plan for it, Andrew. Yeah, so WrestleVotes told Give Me Sport, they said a personal health issue on Bray Wyatt's part is going to keep Bobby Lashley off the WrestleMania card. With that said, I know there's a backup plan. I do know that they're going to get Lashley on the card in some form. And then WrestleVotes later added WWE will find a way to get Lashley on the card. A match versus LA Knight isn't planned as of now, but has been discussed for over a week now. And we've seen LA Knight recently on TV trying to get himself into WrestleMania. He was like, hey, if you're not going to fight your son Ray, I'll fight him for you. With the Mysterio mask on, LA Mysterio, I'll go and do that. He's trying to find a way to get himself on the card. And if Bray isn't able to partake in WrestleMania, I guess this could lend itself to then LA Knight can just be like, well, I'll do it then. I'll do it instead. I'll go Bray Wyatt instead, and me and Bobby Lashley will have a little battle. You've got potentially 2 days, 2 shows to get yourself there. And, with a talented orator like LA Knight and an imposing figure like Bobby Lashley, you could probably tell that tale very quickly if that was the way you wanted to go. LA Knight's been sort of on the periphery of the WrestleMania card for quite a while now. Had no match officially signed. There was rumor and innuendo that he might end up paired up with Steve Austin. Which would have been so good. If that's still, maybe that will go through. Who knows? My thought was going to be that we would have LA Knight just walk out of WrestleMania like, I haven't got a match. Yeah, I'm gonna hold WrestleMania hostage. Yeah. That's better. And then have Austin run out and give him 78 stunners. That'd be a nice time, wouldn't it? Yeah, for sure. Maybe you have our whole rosters, yeah. As it gets worse as he gets further away. Maybe you have Bobby Lashley walk out and just woof him with a spear.
That would be great too. And I think something like that also just lends to LA Knight's character at the same time. You know, I feel like. Yes, we've heard rumors that he is going to get a big push after WrestleMania, and I feel like it sort of lends into his character to maybe not pick up wins all the time. I think that lends into his arrogance a little bit, and we'll get to the point eventually where he does start picking up wins and start doing some really cool things on the roster. But yeah, like to see him in some capacity like that, I'd very much like to see that.
So how is the rest of the WrestleMania card shaping up and shaking down? Well, there was some speculation on the main event of night one. An update on that is that looks like, whether we think it's the right thing or not, that is going to be the case. Wrestling Observer writing today, right now, day one is scheduled to be headlined by Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley for the SmackDown Women's title. This is something that we've conversed about on the news over the past couple of weeks. I don't think it's an indictment on either performer. I think, Mammy headlining night one of Mania. Love that.
Absolutely.
Is it the match with the most behind it that should headline night one?
I mean, no. It's not at the end of the day, is it? And again, that's not taken away from both phenomenal talents in that match, but I mean, it's the bloodline stuff that is front and center, isn't it?
Here's where this mixes up a little bit. So as well as this, in terms of an update for night one, Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins is also on night one. There has been talk of Edge versus Finn Balor in the Hell in a Cell match on that show. That one isn't official, and Dave also opined that Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens for the tag titles could be on that show as well. The latter match being listed for day one back in November.
Ooh.
And this is like bringing all that up as one piece. I would argue that Owens and Zayn versus the Usos is a stronger night one main event.
Yeah, but I think without a doubt. Yeah.
It's you either open the night or close the night with Zayn and Owens.
Ooh,
I think if they're not gonna close it, I think you got to open it.
I think if you open it with that, then you can sort of pepper in little maybe backstage bits where the Usos go up to Roman and things sort of develop there as well. You get that too. But yeah, at the end of the day, I would have also assumed that would have been the final match on the night. But there you go.
We will see. Again, as with Bobby Lashley and LA Knight, there's still 2 shows to go, and they've done a great job of Charlotte and Rhea in really pushing this match. Great brawl from last week. It just doesn't feel like a main event to me.
No,
I don't think it's been, and I don't think it's down to any of the talent. I just don't think it's been treated like it could be.
Yeah, the build for sure. When you've had something at the front and center like the bloodline stuff and how long that has played out for, it does feel like that should perhaps have the bigger payoff being the main event of WrestleMania Night 1.
What's Night 2 looking like, Andrew?
Day 2 will be headlined by Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes for the Universal Championship, which is the biggest match, obviously, of the weekend. The belief is also that Gunther versus Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus for the IC title, Lita and Trish and Becky versus Damage Control, Rey and Dominic as well. If the angle is shot on day 1, if not, the match could be on day 1 as well. And Bianca Belair versus Asuka for the Raw Women's title would be on day 2. A lot of title matches on day 2. A lot of title matches.
They seem to be heavy laden, the title matches for day 2. I think you do Rey versus Dominic on night 1. I think we talked about this a few times. I've waxed lyrical about it enough. I think you set it up at the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, me too.
You have it on night 1.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so too.
But I mean, obviously Rhodes versus Reigns has to be the main event of night 2. That's obviously what it is. No doubt about that. But interesting because I see quite heavy laden with title matches and big matches there. How do you open Mania? How do you open Mania Night 2?
IC title match.
IC title match.
Big time. I think that would be so good. That would be so good.
Just throw those 3 big beefy boys in the mix and go, entertain the world. Go for it. I like it. Obviously, next weekend it is WrestleMania, and there'll be lots of moving and shaking and talk throughout the next 7 days as we get ready for it. And when we know more about it, you will know more at Cultaholic.com. Keys.
Love you, bye.